Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
This water bottle is very poorly made, obviously. It melts if you put it in the dishwasher.
You've said that before.
But it makes this, horrible whistle sound. And everyone in my cubicle block has one, so there'll be times where it's just this, chorus of, as everyone tries to stay hydrated.
Kind of like bird calls.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I have multiple bird stories, but we don't have to start with this cold open. We can start with something, literary. What are you reading? I know we're not doing that anymore, but I am curious.
I did just realize when I was talking about our cat getting electrocuted that Matt Cathon getting struck by lightning is actually on brand for his trickster/luck themes. You know, the chances of getting hit by lightning.
Yes.
And then Matt's just master of chance and fate and luck and whatnot. Sorry, that veered really weirdly off.
Did you ever see The Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
I did not see it. Here's what I know of Benjamin Button, exclusively that scene in The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, right. The scene that your family loves that no one else in the entire planet thinks is funny.
When Kristen Wiig is just nestle in there and die.
I don't understand. You guys are so weird. Anyway, I haven't seen all of The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, but one day it was on I don't know, TBS or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And so my brothers and I turned on half of it, and there's this scene where a man he's I've been struck by lightning 7 times in my life. And then there's just a sequence of him getting hit by lightning.
What?
And it's the funniest thing any of the Goodger children had ever seen. We were weeping. Speaking of weird family movie moments.
It's not about the objective funniness of the scene. It's about what strikes your sisters in that exact right mood to make them almost wet their pants. Because that's what...
It's a Jusha woman family problem.
Yeah, it is. Except for me, somehow. Yeah, I've evaded.
Good for you on your bladder integrity.
I guess. It's concerning. Anyway, welcome to Everybody Hates Rand, your friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast. I will remember to do the opening on my first try this time. Sorry, Glenna. I'm Emily Jushaw.
I'm Sally Goodger. I don't remember if my PSA about my illness was included in the last episode, but I am still sick, so I'm sorry.
It was not, because I had to cut down
for any
episode.
of my mouth noises in this or the previous
It also
episode.
felt kind of like a given that you're sick, because you have the immune system of a newborn lamb.
That's true. You can assume at any given moment that I am just leveled.
Yeah.
By some type of illness or chronic pain.
It's pretty upsetting. What you gonna do?
I am what I am.
Okay.
I should just, only eat oranges.
I don't think that would help the situation.
Would that give me scurvy?
No, that would give you the opposite of scurvy, whatever that is.
It's the opposite of scurvy.
It would give you, you wouldn't have enough protein in your diet.
I don't have that anyway.
Yeah,
I don't like meat.
Number one issue. Today I was work sucks, and Sally sent me a picture of a gnome.
Oh.
It was so strange. She was like, does this help? And I was like, it doesn't not help. I don't know what to tell you.
My cute friend Veronica brought me that at work on Monday. It's my birthday present. It's a gnome in all orange riding a frog. And she was like, I can't explain it, but this really made me think of you. And
that makes me think of you too.
It tracks.
Okay, we have to talk about Wheel of Time because we are reading so much. The schedule has been adjusted a little bit, so we're going to have some weird episodes here and there that cover 3 chapters, but I feel like we're at the point in the series where we don't get hung up on weird things anymore. So
yeah.
we gotta focus on plot stuff. Also, next week we're only doing one chapter, which is Matt. So
Well, next week we're doing a special episode,
right,
and then
right.
next week we are doing one chapter.
so confusing.
It's going to be a confusing couple of weeks here at EHRHQ.
Yeah, because our life is fucked. Every evening event in the entire world is happening in the first week of April.
I'm going to break Emily by
Apparently.
asking her to do many social things.
So many things.
One involves my family, so
That's
pray for
okay,
her.
but it also involves me sitting on the front row of a comedy show, which
We'll have some stories, I'm
horrifies
sure.
me. Okay, we have to talk about egg.
Speaking of egg, my family might make you go to a vegan restaurant.
What? Where? When? Oh, that night, you mean?
Yeah, not just like in general.
Like, what?
Night, not just be
No.
like.
I mean, I
go to a
can.
vegan
I can
restaurant.
fuck with vegan food. It's fine. I can handle it.
Okay, you literally just said you're a carnivore about a
I
minute
am,
and a
but
half
like,
ago.
I can eat vegan food. I've had good salads that are vegan. That's the only vegan food I can think of is a salad.
Okay.
And it had like tofu in it. No, it wasn't tofu. It was something else. I can't remember what it's called. Okay, I can't talk about this right now.
Food.
Especially because I'm hungry.
Sorry, you can eat first.
No, it is okay.
Don't want you to be hangry
I ate
on
some
the
chips.
podcast.
I'm always hangry.
I mean,
That's my secret cap. I'm always hangry.
Emily has decided to torture me for a full 45 minutes.
I'm sorry, but I'm in a really weird mood. Remember that retweet I had?
Yes, I do. That was
I've been laughing about it for 24 hours. Go to my Twitter feed immediately and go to my March 26th retweets.
I don't. Okay.
Or it might have been March 25th. I can't remember.
It's you'll know.
You'll know what it is. You'll know.
Oh my god. Okay. We're talking about egg.
Fucking egg is like, damn, I'm all greasy from dishes, and I'm like, relatable. Me leaving Chick-fil-A back in the good old day when I worked at Chick-fil-A. This is like a Schrodinger's cat of homophobia. Was it homophobic of me, a gay, to work at Chick-fil-A? I just needed money.
Oh, I thought there was going to be like a second scenario to
No.
the Schrodinger's homophobia.
I
I don't think I fully understand how Schrodinger's cat
I don't
works.
either. Schrodinger is the word I think of when there's like a paradoxical situation that doesn't make sense and really confuses my brain. So that's what the context was there.
It took me a really long time to understand what people meant when they were saying Pavlovian, like a Pavlovian response.
Like, you didn't know it was referencing a guy named Pavlov?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then someone was like, Pavlov's dog. And I was like, mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I figured that out.
But I am, again, just an idiot.
I wish I
so.
didn't know anything about modern psychology.
Today, I'm sorry, you guys, this is weird energy. Today, I was talking to Jeff, who is at my work, and I love him. And we were trying to solve a problem with our website, which for some reason became my responsibility to fix, because fundraising is obviously IT.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Naturally. And I was like, oh, I fixed it, and I'm still working on this other thing. And Jeff was like, well, why haven't you finished that? Just like teasing. And I was like, it's because I'm dumb. And everybody in the meeting was like, what? Meanwhile, Jeff and Gethin, my two best boys, were like, this is the funniest thing I've ever
Yeah, because
heard
Jeff
in
and
my
Gethin
entire
are
life.
like on the wavelength of millennial
I
humor.
was like, it's just because I'm dumb.
Self-deprecating. I am but a simple idiot.
Okay, we're going to talk about Wheel of Time.
Okay, first...
Egg gets a ring.
Egg.
Put a ring on it. Mm. And Varen's like, I do like it.
Yeah, true. Okay, so Egg is like, I've been summoned to see Varen in her creepy office, which is, like, extra creepy. It's like a hoarder's office. Plus there's a living owl in there.
I have a lot of concerns about this owl.
And a crocodile skull.
Oh,
Or at least
yeah,
what I think is supposed to be a crocodile skull.
No, that makes sense, because I was like, dragon?
Edwin was like, a long lizard with real crooked teeth, and I was like, croc. Did you know the Crocodile Hunters family has an entire show called Crikey, It's the Owens?
Oh, that sounds really tender.
I know it does. I saw a little tweet about it today, and I was like, I love them. Good for
I know,
them.
I was really into the Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah, who wasn't?
I thought he kicked ass.
I love that man.
I still think he kicks ass.
Good for you. In heaven.
Yeah.
He's rounding up all the crocodiles in heaven.
And he and Jesus are like, yeah.
Oh my god, Jesus was like, Crikey!
Crikey, it's the Owens!
I'm so sorry for all of this. Okay, we're all concerned about the owl because Varen's like, it eats mice or whatever. And I'm like, it's not a cat. Owls need fresh air.
Owls need to be outside and, like, alive. Would you guys like a fun owl fact?
Okay.
I don't know if this is exclusive to the milky eagle owl, which is the largest species of owl. They're very big. They're like...
Wingspan?
Oh, I don't know what his wingspan... Sorry, the one at the aviary is a male, but you guys can't see this visual, but he's, like, this big.
He's, like, torso size.
He's a big boy.
He's a big man's torso. He's like Chris Evans' torso size.
Okay, well, maybe not that. Well, I don't know. Look up it. Google it.
He's, like... Just trying to think of one size down from Chris Evans' torso. Robert Downey Jr.?
I have no concept of how tall Robert Downey Jr. is.
I just feel like
put him in heels.
he's, like, less...
Yeah, he's less Dorito.
Yeah, he's less Dorito. Okay.
Okay, anyway, the milky eagle owl, the reason, like, they make such good predators in, like, hunting by night is because their ears, like, they're not at the same height on their head. It's like one is below the other, and so sound reaches them at different points, so they get a better picture of, like, the soundscape.
Damn.
And so, like, a milky eagle owl could, like, hear your heartbeat. Like, that's how good their hearing is.
Great, well, I'll just hold that nightmare close to my heart.
That's a bird fact.
Okay, well, anyway, Edwin's like, okay, hello there, creepy owl, and hello, equally creepy owl in human form, Varen. And Varen's like, hello, would you like to hear some history? And also here's some papers about the Black Aja. She's like, here's the list of names of the women who left, and also a list of the tearing grill they took. And Edwin's like, okay, well, thank you for this hit list.
Mm-hmm.
This has been sufficiently awkward. And Varen's like, no, wait, there's more. Here is also a ring that will help you enter the world of dreams. And Edwin's like, what's the fuck, the world of dreams?
Mm-hmm.
And Varen's like, nobody fucking knows, my dude. And Edwin's like, great, love it. Can't wait to experiment with this. I mean, there's, like, a whole, like, philosophical... argument, but like Varen's philosophical interpretation of the universe and that it's infinite weaves.
Yeah.
Which is actually like an interesting, concept and like a cool visual, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like crisscrossing lines and they're all universes and it can expand infinitely. That's just like kind of cool.
Yeah.
She's also like, and there's only one creator and one dark one, and I'm like, okay, with your monotheistic weirdness, but fine. And if the Dark One gets loose in one world, then he's loose in all of them. And if he stays trapped in one world, then he stays trapped in all of them. And I'm like, Edwin's like, that makes no sense. And I'm like, that really makes no sense. And Varen's like, it's a paradox.
Schrodinger's Dark One.
Schrodinger's Dark One, exactly.
I think.
We don't know what Schrodinger is. We don't know.
Don't explain psychology to me either. I want to be an idiot.
Yeah, just let me believe that Schrodinger is whatever situation I apply it to.
The English language is malleable. To quote Thor, all words are made up.
All words are made up, including Schrodinger.
Schrodinger's Dark One.
Schrodinger's language quirks. Okay, forgot what I was talking about.
So then Edwin is like, the fuck? And Varen's like, but it makes sense.
Yeah, and Edwin's like, Jesus, if there wasn't enough pressure on this situation to keep the Dark One from getting out, it will not just wreck our universe, but also literally every universe. Yeah. And Varen's like, yeah, no pressure. Enjoy. I'll be dead. And Edwin's like, great, thanks, pal. Peace out.
Varen is very strange.
I know, Varen is very strange.
I love her, but she is weird.
Well, and she's like, here's this ring because the world of dreams is like, it's the constant. It's like creator, Dark One, and in the middle somewhere there is the world of dreams, which is like interesting, and it kind of plays into this, I don't know, I don't really know what theology, like what real world theology we can kind of ascribe that to, because generally speaking, if you're a monotheistic religion, then you've got a good guy and a bad guy, and that's it. Yeah. And if you're a polytheistic religion, then you have kind of everyone in a scape of moral and ethical and godly values. So, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting play with
it's interesting to think that the world of dreams is this, like, spectrum between two poles and has its, like, own agency. Yeah. It's just fascinating.
I just really like the world of dreams.
It's really cool. And the idea that it is also the same throughout all these universes is really interesting.
Yeah. It just, like, it made me think briefly of how occasionally Edwin will see someone who just, like, appears in the world of dreams. Yeah. You know, some random stranger. And I'm like, it would be cool if we were given more hints to them being, like, not of this universe at all. Just being like, hello, here I am.
Yeah, hello, here I am. And, like, what if they, like, talk to that person?
Yeah, it's just, like, this really cool archetypal space.
Yes.
Because it's also where the heroes, like, who are also archetypes in themselves, hang out.
Yeah, which is so interesting to me.
Yeah. It just makes sense that Perrin, who's, like, a bundle of archetypes, hangs out there. And so does Edwene. And Rand does occasionally. It's just funny because Matt never does.
It's like, archetype. Who is she? Even though he is also literally a bundle of archetypes.
Yeah, a walking archetype. Walking one-eyed archetype. God bless him. What? So anyway, then there's this...
Oh, he does get one.
He does. Shh, spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
I'm joking. Everyone knows.
Emily put the spoiler alert in at the beginning.
Yeah, I did.
So
I remember.
No excuses.
Emily, this is your reminder. Do it, you absolute dumbass hoe. You can remember. You can remember.
You is brave.
You is kind. You is brave. You is important.
I don't think brave is even one of them.
I don't either.
I think it's smart.
You is smart. You is kind. You is important. I think you're right.
Whatever. That book's racist.
Yeah. That movie's super racist. Okay. Then there's, like, a weird interlude where it goes to Varen's point of view, and she's like, and also I have all these notes about it that I could have given Edwene, but for some reason I decided not to. And I'm like, great, this will mean literally nothing to me for 11 books. Although, actually, this does happen kind of on and off through the series. We'll see Varen interact with someone, and then we'll switch over to Varen's point of view, and kind of it will, to demonstrate that she's hiding something, or that she is not sharing her full knowledge. Yeah. Which makes sense when the plot twist happens, that she's Black Aja, but also, like, I've always just thought it was, like, a thematic part of her character, that Varen is this character who has, like, who's wearing a mask constantly, and is hiding behind what others think she is.
Yes.
And has ulterior motives, and I just always was kind of like, yeah, sure, she's a character with an interior life, that's fine.
Yeah, and it also, like, works in a series with so many points of view, where, like, dramatic irony is kind of, like, the thing that holds the entire, like, it just, like, nature of having so many points of view in different places, like, there are characters who know things that other characters don't, and then we know bits and pieces, but we don't know it's just, like, that's kind of, like, part of the reading fabric of Wheel of Time. It's always just like, yeah, sure.
It's just so interesting, because Varen is never a, what's the word? She's never an ominous character at all. None of these little asides are like, ooh, I wonder what's going on here. It's just, like, totally, like, I don't know. It's a very good con that gets played on us. Anyway, Edwene's walking back to her rooms when she is waylaid by another member of the Black Aja, Shiriam, who's like, hello, it is time for you to become accepted. And Edwene's like, it's like 3 a.m.
He's like, I'm very sleepy.
And Shiriam's like, fuck you,
the hour waits on no woman.
Yeah.
Is what she says, I think.
Yeah.
Look, I quoted the book.
Look at you. So then they go down to the basement, because the Aes Sedai are all about dungeons. And they're like, here's this creepy machine that we've already described when Nynaeve went through this. Aleda's there, and she's like, fuck you all. Can we just get this over with? And Shiriam's like, can you please calm down? And Edwene this whole time is, like, worried about the ring and the papers that she has being found out somehow. So she's, like, trying to, like, discreetly hide them in her clothes as she's, like, stripping off.
Yeah.
She's like, anyone could be Black Aja and find out that I'm looking for them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, babe, it's okay.
You're 16 and paranoid.
You're 16 and deeply paranoid.
Because you've been given a ridiculous assignment by a child-abusing tiny lesbian.
Anyway, like, right before Edwene goes in, Alana, who is also there, is like, there's something weird about the Tearing Grill this time. Yeah. And everyone's like, okay, well, is it still safe? And she's like, yeah, it already went away. And everyone's like, okay, well, cool. Then Edwene goes into the Tearing Grill. Anyway, she goes through her 3, past, present, future iterations of her, I don't know, kind of subconscious fears and desires. It's all this is also very archetypal stuff. Just, like, it feels more to me, even than it did with Nynaeve, like a dream sequence. Mm. Especially because with Edwene, we get things building on each other. Mm. Like, in that second one, she hears from Rand, who's dying, he's like, you can't let them turn me.
Yeah.
If they have enough dark friends or dreadlords or whatever the fuck and enough Mordrol, then they can turn me to the dark side. And Edwin's like, oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
And then goes out to the real world and is like, is that true? And Shiriam's like, yeah, but how the fuck do you even know that? And then Edwin's next vision is just like totally succumbing to this like paranoia of that being an issue.
Yeah.
She's like, oh shit, there's 13 Black Aja that I've been assigned to hunt.
Yeah.
And of course I'm terrified of being turned, because that's a legitimately horrifying aspect of this series, that like the magic users are vulnerable to this. In a way, it kind of makes sense to me. Like, I appreciate the commitment to like, if we're going to have characters who are deviating from quote-unquote human norms, if they're like super powered, then we're also going to give them super vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And like things that don't make sense within the spectrum of, I don't know, humanity. Because free will is supposed to be like, yeah, solid.
Yeah.
But here in Fantasyland, it's like, nope, not if you can use magic.
Yeah.
Which is troubling.
That is interesting. The idea that you kind of give up part of your free will if you become a magic user.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty common.
Yeah, it's just like, this is the most like aggressive like iteration of that I've seen, I guess.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like belittle your point. I just think it's really interesting. I've been thinking a lot about this idea that magic always has to come with like a price or like a hyper weakness.
Yeah, because with channeling, especially with the women, there isn't actually much of a price. Ironically, this chapter is called like the price of the ring or something like that. Yeah. Price to be paid, and there's a whole discussion about things costing shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like if you're going to do this, then you have to accept the reality that you could end it by not being yourself,
Yeah. Which is super scary.
Super freaky. Anyway, Edwine's whole 3 things. Her past one is like 2 Rivers Edwine, has a baby with Rand, has a heteronormative life, only there's hints of him beginning to channel, and of her beginning to channel. And, the paranoias that she has to turn away from him. Yeah. And just, like, leave him to that fate, whatever it may be. And then her next iteration is that she's some, an Aes Sedai, some sort of noblewoman, wandering around in Camelin, and it's, like, the end of the world.
Yeah.
And Rand is, again, trapped physically this time by, like, a beam or something, like a building fell on him. Whatever. Why do so many buildings fall on people in this series?
Everyone's like, I don't know, put a building on it.
Everyone's like, I don't know, knock a building over, it'll solve everything. Or at least create enough... What's that line in The Good Place when Jason's like, every time I had a problem, I'd throw a Molotov cocktail. Suddenly, I had a new problem.
Boom, I have a new problem.
That's Robert Jordan with collapsing buildings.
Yeah, boom, I have a new problem.
Rand's trapped, and he's like, oh no, they're gonna catch me, and Edwine's like, well, I can't get you out of here, and Rand's like, okay, then kill me. Like, literally, more or less euthanize me.
Yeah.
And Edwine's like, I cannot do that. And Rand's being like, kill me, as she goes through the portal, which I don't mean to laugh at, but it's very dramatic.
Yeah. Rand is an edgelord.
Yeah, I sort of was going through this sequence more and more, like, in terms of, like, I know the past, present, future thing is very obvious, and for Edwine in particular, it sort of feels like, I don't know, ambitions kind of distilled. Her past ambition was to, become the wisdom and marry Rand and have babies, and her present ambition is just to, like, be this important person who helps at the end of the world, and kind of in the future, you get this weird distillation of foreshadowing in that next sequence of, like, stuff that more or less does actually happen, although to different people, like Swan getting taken down by surprise all of a sudden, what happens in the White Tower.
Yeah.
Edwine has a whole line about how she never held the Oath Rod, which I think she does at one point, but she does, like, become the Amyrlin without holding the Oath Rod,
which is interesting.
Yeah, so, I don't know, it's just
weird. Yeah, and I really like that interpretation, because I am, again, and we've talked about this, so frustrated about how much of Edwine's storyline forever has to do with her relationship to Rand. Mm-hmm. And, like, there's a lot of arguments to be made that she's just, like, worried about her friend, but he is also, like, being able to, like, help Rand would be, like, it's a very ambitious thing, too. So, like, there are arguments to me. It just bothers me. You know, I just wish Edwene had more. And so the idea that, like, it's a weird dream manifestation of her ambitions is an interpretation I can fuck with a lot more.
I mean, it's also, like, it's sort of depressing that Rand is in all three of these, and you can kind of write that off as being, like, now in the series, Edwene is more than ever really worried about Rand.
Yeah, who wouldn't be?
And it's interesting because after about book 6, she pretty much stops worrying about Rand. She kind of goes off and does her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I don't know, it's just like this is such a present moment thing for her that she does have to, like, let go of the idea that Rand is always going to be dependent upon her.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of like, I have to go off and do my... It's sort of, I don't know. It's profound in a bit of a way. Like, if you have a friend who's really struggling, even with mental illness or anything like that, you kind of want to be like, I want to solve your problem.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to let go of the fact that, like, you have to realize you can't solve anyone's problems. That's part of growing up. You can't fix your friends, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But yeah, it also is just like, you only see this happening to Edwene, the female character, rather than Matt and Perrin. So
yeah, it's not like Matt's like, Rand.
Yeah, it can be profound and it can also be deeply sexist.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah.
The world is complicated.
The world is complicated. I mean, this especially this time around feels like a dream sequence, but then we're also fed into that when Edwene comes out. And, like, the Terangriel has been acting up, which is kind of why her third thing went on for so long and was so warped and, like, kind of got lost in the middle there, you know? She comes out and someone is like, yeah, I've only seen something like this happen once before, and it's when two Terangriel were reacting to each other and they had similar purposes. And, of course, Edwene's like, oh, fuck this ring.
Yeah.
One ring to rule them all. So there's sort of this implication that what happens in the Terangriel to become accepted is like a world of dreams type thing.
Yeah.
That you're literally pulling on your subconscious and creating a dream for yourself, like a really vivid dream.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a cool sequence.
No, it's a cool sequence, and I like the, like, cognitive dissonance, for lack of a better term, with the Terangriel. It's really interesting.
It also struck me in terms of, like, past, present, future, how Edwene's present one, the middle one, was, like, built in the ruins of a city, which just kind of speaks to how traumatized Edwene's present is. Like, you've got her past that's so idyllic and nostalgic, and her present that's just like, and here we're literally in Apocalypseville.
Yeah.
And, like, that's sort of what's happening to Edwene.
Yeah.
Or what she's been going through in the most recent months, maybe.
Yeah, and the future is very much, you know, Edwene, how she wants to see herself. Like, the past 2 chapters have been Edwene being like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. So.
These are things I want, and I'm going to say that I want them.
Yeah, I just love Edwene's ambition so much.
No, it's just really cool.
It's just awesome.
She also, in this chapter, gets hung up on the idea of the green aja. She, like, is like, Alana, what's the green aja? And Alana's like, it's the battle aja. And all of us readers are like, well, that might be true, but it's also Robert Jordan's weird fetish of powerful women having
making
men.
sure they've got a man to protect them.
Yeah, Alana's like, first of all, you have to love men. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Can't you be, like, aggressive and battle aja without loving men, you know?
Yeah.
It's just so derivative. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think we've already ranted about the green aja.
Yeah. I don't know what else there is to say.
But Alana also has this sketchy thing where she's like, I have to do penance with Edwene. And Edwene's like, I'd rather you didn't. And Swan's like, don't be a dumbass, you idiot. Go get strapped by Shiriam if you want it so bad, if you're that kinky, but take it away from me.
Yeah.
Get away from my teen with that. And Edwene's like, okay, that was really weird. Clearly she doesn't want to be punished. She just wants to hang out with me. And you're left to be like, oh, is she Black Aja? What the fuck? But, you know, I guess with hindsight, it's maybe she wanted to corner Edwene and ask her about Rand. Because, you know, Alana's going to be a major creep.
Yeah, Alana's got some
I wish Alana was dead. I'll be
I
honest.
do too. I think Alana's the worst.
Alana's a terrible character.
Magical rapist.
Magical rapist. That's no fun. At all. No type of rapist is fun. What? Obviously. Obviously.
You heard it here first, kids.
Anyway, I don't know.
Then Edwin's like, I'm fucking tired. So she goes back to her room and is like, I don't want to be alone. And but her friend is there, and Elaine's just like weeping on Nine Names.
Elaine's like, I could never be that terrible. And I'm
No,
like, you literally actively are on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So terrible.
It's your worst fear, acknowledging that you're a total douchebag.
Like, thank God Robert Jordan didn't make me suffer through Elaine's hazing. Magical
Elaine's
hazing.
total horny.
I know.
But it was also all about Rand.
I know, and she doesn't even have like a decent archetypal excuse except that she's gonna have his baby or whatever.
Archetype.
Babies?
Horny.
She has twins.
What? Why is Rand's whole thing that everyone who gets pregnant with his baby has multiples?
I know.
Why is it like, you know
Amanda
what's
has,
better
like,
than being
quadruplets
fertile?
or something.
Super fertile.
I know.
I'm
Rand's
a
like,
big dick symbol.
look at my monster dick. It plants multiple babies inside of
Gross.
Sorry.
All the language around impregnation is so
I know, 'cause
awful.
it's terrible. But also, like, there's no, genetic, like,
Yeah, the Ale don't have like a
background for
ton
that.
of twins.
yeah.
You
Elaine
know?
doesn't have twins in her background.
So why are they just like...
Maybe if she and Gavin were twins, I could.
Yeah,
like,
it's
fuck
just
that.
like, you know, the twins are so archetypal.
I know, it's actually interesting that we don't get more twins in Wheel of Time. Do we have any twins?
I don't think
Just
so.
the ones she has, I think.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is interesting,
Be
actually.
the world's first twins.
Yeah. Huh, weird. Yeah, twins are such an archetype you'd think you'd have. I mean, you have characters who are twinned in
Yeah.
interesting ways, but you don't have characters who are
Biological
literally like,
twins.
this is my twin.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rude. I love a good set of twin
Who
characters.
doesn't?
Yeah, it's like, I can fuck with that.
Yeah, poor Avienda though. Quadruplets.
I think, or triplets, I can't remember. She has
Either one
she
is
goes on some
bad.
weird vision quest in the Ale Waste, and ugh, it's bad.
Avienda deserves so much better.
Avienda deserves so much better, I know. It's literally the worst.
She has such a sapphic energy,
I
you know?
know. She's just like, I'm just a tall woman who loves women. And I'm like, yeah, I
Tall
can fuck
one
with
with a
that.
rat tail. Big sapphic energy.
Lesbian.
She
That's
is a
Avienda.
lesbian.
Yeah.
Lesbian stock. It's a tall girl.
Um,
In my head canon, she's like 7'5".
if the Ale were like forest people rather than blatant Dune plagiarism, then they would all be wearing flannel as their camo.
Amazing.
That's all I'm saying. And
Bunch
then
of lumberjacks.
truly, exactly. They do kind of have lumberjack energy, you know?
They do.
Gaul, 6'7" or
Yeah,
whatever he is.
He does have lumberjack energy for sure.
Yeah.
Put that boy in a flannel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might die if just the idea.
I know.
Too much raw sexual power.
Literally, my libido would just
It
implode.
would just, like, I would just die. Just like too much.
Too much.
Is there anything else? And then Edwene cries too, and Nine Name's like, "I'm so sorry. You both had to see."
And
such
Name's like,
scary
one day
things."
we'll make them pay. And I'm like, okay, Nanny,
Drama queen.
you didn't need to make that as weird as it was.
I know, why is she so weird?
I know. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. It's just weird that Aleda's there. Like, Aleda's
I know.
like, that's another archetype thing, because Edwene and Aleda are going to be like big time enemies,
Big
you
time
know?
fools.
It's so funny and like slightly immature, you know, that in Edwine's little dream of the future, Aleda, of course, is Black Aja.
Yeah.
Because she goes into it being like, fuck, I hate Aleda.
Yeah.
And now she's like, well,
Aleda's a demon.
here's my subconscious justifying my hatred. Although, you don't need that to justify your hatred of Aleda. She's just a bitch. Like, that's fine. We can all admit it.
You can hate women.
You can hate women.
I mean, not like on a systemic level, on like a personal
individual
level.
women,
You
though.
can't just like hate women blanketly.
You can't just, like, hate women,
You can hate specific women.
but you can hate the occasional woman.
Only you get
If you have
3
a very
a
good
year.
reason, she's super rude.
3 a year. That's it. Use it
3
wisely.
Annually. Your
3 annual.
Your annual hatred of women quota.
Yeah, 3. That's all you get. There's a rollover program. So if you only hate 1 woman in 2019, you get 5 in 2020.
Yeah. Fears, dreams.
Fear is the mind killer.
Ambitions. Don't even speak to me about fear being the mind killer.
What's that even mean?
Dune is the mind killer. It's just like this little mantra that they say to themselves to be like, like mindfulness in terms of anxiety. It's basically the like being mindful.
Oh.
Fear's the mind killer. It's the little death. I will let it pass over me, and then once it's behind me, I'll look back, and it'll just be me, not the fear.
Is that a quote from the book?
I mean, that's not an exact quote, but like, yeah, that's basically it.
Because you're just like little death, and I was like, if
Fear is the little death. I think it says that, and I'm like,
Oh.
you know what else is the little death?
orgasms.
Now I have to look up Dune and see if it literally says that.
Hold
on.
What's this motherfucker's name? Frank Herbert?
Mm-hmm.
If he was either, like, not aware enough or just, like, I'm gonna repurpose this. Orgasm is the mind killer.
Orgasm is the mind killer. Blah, 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 blah. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. Fear equals orgasm. Signed, Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert was afraid of coming.
Oh, that's a bold and sexy interpretation. I'll take it.
Thank you. I'm not here to make friends.
Do you know how shocked I was when I opened Dune and the two main characters are named Paul and Jessica?
Jessica.
I know. I was like, what in the fuck name? Jessica. And she's like the Aes Sedai equivalent character.
And her name is fucking Jessica?
It's Jessica, and his name is Paul.
Paul, I can't.
I
deal
can't
with.
I know, I was like...
Or Jessica.
Paul, you fucking weirdo.
Like, on the other side of that, you've got, like, what's that fucker from The Name of the Wind?
I can't say it.
Kavoth?
It's like Bloody Mary. It'll summon him.
So it's like,
we've already said it twice today.
find your happy medium between that and Jessica.
And the completely unintelligible
Yeah.
series of consonants. It's literally like, what's his bucket? Pat Rothfuss was just like playing Scrabble and was like, this is a word, and everyone was like, no the fuck it isn't, what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, it's a really valuable word that it's the protagonist of my book, you dumbass. And they're like, fine, you have to publish a book with that as your protagonist, and then we will accept your Scrabble dominion.
The world's longest game of Scrabble.
Exactly.
It's going on for years.
With that guy.
Remember how Roxanne Gay plays Scrabble?
Yeah. It's
competitively?
cute. It is very cute. Good for Roxanne Gay.
I love Roxanne Gay.
Okay, I expected us to talk more about that. I don't know if I went through it too fast.
I just feel like there's not a whole ton to say.
It's just
archetype, boom.
Dreams, fears, ambitions. It's
Leda. Foreshadowing.
I know, there is so much foreshadowing. It's a little bit disturbing. Although Rand never is brought to Egwene to be, gentled or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's good.
Be an interesting turn of events, but I'm glad it doesn't happen.
It is disturbing. I can't remember the exact visual that, Egwene is running to, save Rand or whatever from being gentled, and it's he's in the traitor's court, and the only thing that ever happens there is men being gentled and, women being stilled and, people being executed, basically. And I was like, is this a public event?
Yeah.
That's deeply disturbing, if it is. I want us to get past the Middle Ages weird fetish of public executions. I got enough of that in, what's it called? Wolf Hall?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Wolf Hall. Check out our Patreon for more Wolf Hall content.
Very specific market you're speaking to right now. Very, very
The
specific.
Venn diagram of people who like Wheel of Time and also Wolf Hall.
Does not include us in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I have to figure out which one it is we hate.
I have moments of appreciation for Wolf Hall. Similarly, I have moments.
When he was like, what is it that he says that's so funny, where the king's like, you just want me to sit in my room? And he's like, that would be ideal.
That would be the ideal scenario.
Fiscally speaking, that would be the ideal scenario. Slay it, Thomas
Cromwell, you sassy motherfucker. Okay.
And then that's it.
And then that's it, I guess, yeah.
End scene.
So when Robert Jordan says that they put the ring on the third finger, does he mean the marriage finger?
That's what I was thinking, because are we counting the thumb? So is it on the middle finger, or is it on your I assume it's the marriage finger.
It must be the marriage finger.
Which
because otherwise,
hate.
why?
Yeah, why would you put it on your middle finger?
I know, there's something there that's nuns are married to Jesus, and Aes Sedai are married to
the Creator.
To power? Which, a little more interesting. But not much. Why do women always have to end in marriage? Yeah,
Robert, why are you afraid of unmarried women?
exactly. What is it with unmarried women? Salem witch trials.
If you're not married, you must be a witch.
Conversely, in this series, if you're married, you are a witch. Wait, what? Because they are witches and they get married to witchcraft.
So, in the real world, if
There's
you're not
only
married,
one.
you're
There's
a witch.
only one metaphor for unions, and it's marriage.
If you're not married in the real world, you're a witch. In this series, if you're a witch... No. I gotta figure this out. In this series, if you...
Every witch is married, but not all married women are witches.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Wait.
Wait. But wait, I thought if you were married, you weren't a witch. Does the dick take away the witchcraft?
It's okay.
Does it suck it all in?
What we were saying
Does it
was
absorb it?
these are women who are unmarried in the law.
In the court of law, they would
Legally
not.
unmarried. So Robert Jordan was like, gosh, I gotta magically marry
I'm
them.
gonna magically marry them to their...
Otherwise, what will I do? They'll just, I don't know, shrivel up, as all women do when a man doesn't fertilize them. Or whatever.
I literally hate the word fertilize.
I know.
It's
I'm sorry.
so
I just gave
gross.
myself the shivers.
Oh, she's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Because she has nothing else to give.
Nothing else to give. Okay, well, I apologize for this episode, but here we are.
Okay.
We can't take it back.
I think you've been wonderful, Emily.
I've been very tired and weird.
Emily has been very sleepy.
I'm so
Don't think she's eaten enough. Definitely not sleeping enough. And I sent her random pictures of gnomes today.
It was alarming.
Which
to
she
say
was
the
like,
least.
I don't know what to do with this, Sally.
Anyway, next week we will be recording a Q&A episode. So probably by the time this episode drops, we'll already have asked for questions. And it's just because we literally don't have time to read and think about a chapter next week. We are very tired. And also a little bit because we could not stand the thought of episode 69 being a chapter with Perrin. We were like, it has to be with Matt.
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve it. Okay, well, do we have any housekeeping?
I just wanted to send a major thank you. We wanted to send a major thank you to Ferg, who sent us the most beautiful calligraphy sign.
It's so pretty.
Bad. I haven't put it up on our social media at the time of this recording because I've been really doped out on cough medicine.
That's true.
So Ferg, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I have no idea what happened during the last week of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that soon. Probably by the time this episode is up, it will be out there for you to see because it's so beautiful and nice. And she drew Larry on it. And it's really
so
pretty.
romantic.
And I love her.
Thank you to Glenna McKenzie for our theme song. It's so beautiful. We're so happy to play it at the beginning of this episode, which I definitely did. Do you want to sign us off? I should just end it with the coughing.
I mean, that's been my life. I think we have a sign off
Ooh,
from somebody.
sexy.
So these come from... We're not going to do both. But we've got two, so look forward to the second one. These come from Reagan Karen. Thank you, Reagan. Reagan also made a super fly Wheel of Time playlist, which you can find on our Twitter.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so Reagan writes, the college that I go to is very historical and a large tourist attraction of the city, along with all the college tours it has. People take tours of this college? That's weird. It better be like Harvard. I was going...
Oxford or something?
Ooh, Oxford. I was going to the painting studio, very sexy, during the weekend, which is upstairs in the art building. The stairs in the art building are small spiral stairs. I don't like where this is going. That only one person can use at a time. I had a bunch of things in my arms, so the tour let me go first, and I fell so dramatically going up the stairs, dropping all the things I was carrying and scraping my knee. All this happened in a small space in front of a senior that I knew. No! 10 high school students and their parents. When I finally got up the stairs, all of us were, of course, headed to the same room, where they stayed for about 10 minutes, where I had to look nonchalant setting up my stuff because it was too late to go back. The only thing worse than falling is doing it in front of high schoolers.
That's true. Or a museum security guard who didn't care very much when Sally
Emily just put me on blast.
No,
but
it was
yes,
really sad.
That's correct. I fell down some stairs at the V&A Museum, and a security guard was like, "You good?" And I was like, I could have died. And he was like, meh.
I'll also confess that my panic reaction was to laugh. So
Oh, Emily was just like cracking up. I mean, I was fine. I didn't get hurt. This isn't about me.
Reagan, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, but also...
Reagan, remember, Dune is the mind killer. And also, spiral staircases always spiral to the right to make it easier for castle defenders. Actually, to the left, I'm sorry. I'm not going to explain that any further. I did a report on castles when I was in the 5th grade.
Isn't she cute, you guys?
Goodbye.